Meghan and Harry's royal wedding revealed by suppliers. Celeb confessions. Idris Elba and Elton John have spoken out. It may have been 2 whole years since Prince Harry and Meghan's royal wedding. But we're still every bit obsessed with the details, much like the rest of the world. Discover what their wedding suppliers and staff had to say about what it was really like behind the scenes. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's wedding, which was attended by many senior royals and watched by millions around the world, had an army of employees and entertainers making their day so special. Discover what Idris Elba, Elton John and more have said about the experience. On a recent episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Idris Elba opened up about his experience of DJing at the royal wedding in 2018. "They are good friends and I wanted to make sure they had a good time, so there was a lot of pressure. It was the most stressful gig he's done." He explained, "This wasn't like my cousin's wedding. This was like, this wasn't at the community hall, the reception. This was a big deal." Elton John provided entertainment at the royal couple's wedding reception with an impromptu sing-along, and he acknowledged the momentous occasion in a CNN interview. The hitmaker said, "It was very, very wonderful to be there. To have a black gospel choir, a multiracial bride, a black cellist, who was wonderful, a preacher. It felt like a party, and it felt like progress had been made. Thank God, thank God." Elton's husband, David Furnish, also had a lovely time at the wedding. "What was so inspiring, and it sounds corny, but true love is what really shone through, and that's what everybody felt, the sincerity and the integrity of that true love on the day." Royal Kakamaka Claire tackled the high-pressure job of creating a jaw-dropping wedding cake to be enjoyed by 600 very high-profile wedding guests. Speaking to Vanity Fair, Claire opened up about her royal wedding nightmares. "I needed to be sure the icing was going to stand up to the atmosphere it was in," she said. "I knew the fresh buttercream was going to be hard to keep looking stable in a warm room with 600 people. It's so soft and so fresh that it was the most stressful part of making the cake. I had nightmares about it sliding off the table." The Kingdom Choir conductor Karen Gibson was part of the iconic performance at St. George's Chapel, and she spoke to Notebook magazine about the rehearsals ahead of the big day. "Harry and Meghan knew what they wanted. We needed to get it perfect. After the 6th version they suggested we had a meeting, so I took a few members of the choice to Kensington Palace. When they walked in, it was surreal. But they were lovely, smiley, warm, welcoming and very much in love. And, as we know, the performance was perfection in the end." Prince Harry had to wait at least half an hour for his blushing bride-to-be, and during those moments he was understandably nervous and emotional. Like many extrovert guys who are normally the life and soul of any party, Harry's body language on his own big day suggested a man shocked and overwhelmed by the strength of his own emotions, James says. He attempted some minor fight-backs with the odd grin and face-pulling at his family in the pews. But the smiles were lighting smiles, appearing and disappearing far too quickly to be congruent, and his more frequent and lasting expressions ranged from high levels of anxiety to deep, besotted love, plus a wide-eyed look of loss when his mother's sister did a reading. When Harry first emerged from their car, his short walk was peppered with over a dozen self-touch, checking hand rituals like hand-wringing, love fiddling and coat-tugging that will normally suggest anxiety or nerves, while his lip-licking would normally suggest a dry mouth caused by the same. The pair held hands while they stood through the service, and when they sat to listen to part of it, Meghan placed a reassuring hand on Harry's leg and he placed his own hand on top in a reciprocal gesture. As we've seen before in their engagement photo call and interview, it often seems to be the former Suits actress who is the most calm and relaxed one of the couple during these intensely public moments. James says her confidence and poise were formidable today. Her solo arrival and her mother's tears behind her could both have been cues for some signs of nerves or sadness, but she did the whole ceremony with confidence and a sense of loving determination, she says. Like a valve that had been tailored to register equality, her confident body language suggested she was not only a perfect match for the royals but also seemed to signal that she'd put the problems of the past weeks behind her. Her back was completely upright throughout and her hands showed no leakage signals that could have suggested suppressed anxiety. When she and Harry held hands, her free hand hung down at her side like a ballerina's, with the fingers curled slightly but no picking or fiddling at all. For a couple who have the eyes of the world on them, there could have very easily been some shaky and nervy moments. James says this combated this by leaning on each other through reassuring touches. Thank you for watching. If you like our video, would you please help us like, share and subscribe our channel. Wish you happy to see our videos. Thank you very much.